Robin Slim Show.
Hey, this is Dez.
Hey, Des. How's it
Going on,
going,
Des?
dude?
What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Not
How are
much,
you?
man. We're pretty good, dude. We're just talking about like unlikely video game titles. It's like
Yeah.
a Twitter thing.
Nice, nice.
What are you up to, dude?
Just hanging out in the studio for a little bit, and just working on some new video stuff. I got another song in the mix right now too, as well.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Your videos are sweet. I was just telling Rob I watched. I forget the name of the song. It was like something with rain. Watch out the rain. I think.
As rain washes over. Yeah.
Rain washes over, and the video was amazing. Like it was really well done.
Thank
Just
you,
all
man.
the effects and everything. Yeah, it's great. And then I was talking about Rob too. How Rob runs all the social media and stuff, and I read things every now and then. And I saw how he had said like, you guys are really good, and you're like, no, it's thanks, man, but it's just me. And that's just like
yeah.
amazing. Even in the video, like watching that, how I loved how you. There's a part where I guess you overlapped your vocals, I think, and you have yourself on the video like 3 times. Like that was cool, man.
Do you perform
Yeah, no,
live?
I mean, that's a pretty amazing thing for a lot of people. They're kind of surprised that when they hear the music, first of all, that it's only me doing everything.
Yeah.
Which is, it's definitely pretty astounding. But yeah, as far as the video goes as well, too. I mean, a lot of that was green screen
Right.
shots.
Okay.
So, but I did that right in my studio. I mean, I didn't even really walk outside of my studio at all for that.
Do you do all that by yourself? Do you have anybody helping you out with the videos, or is it just you just do it all?
No, the video's all
That's
me as well.
Fucking amazing, man. That's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Now I have to
appreciate
ask, so like, have you tried being in a band before? Do you like just being by yourself? Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, no, I mean, originally, I live here now as well, but I grew up in Long Island. I put together a band called Element, which was, that was back in high school, which is a couple of friends, the best musicians we had to offer at the time,
Yeah.
But that band, we jammed together for about 7, 8 years. We got really tight, man. We got to the point of where we originally got offered a contract from No Name Management, which is the label that picked up Slipknot and Mudvayne originally.
Nice.
I don't know what happened, but at the very end of it, they dropped us at the last minute right before. It was like literally 3 days before we were about to fly out to California to record our first record.
That's
Wow.
fucking shitty, man.
Yeah, and they didn't give us any explanation or anything, and it was just, that was it, We had our itinerary and everything, and we just didn't end up going.
Talk about being led on.
But anyway, the band played for a little bit after that. We were really tight. I mean, I have a lot that, as a matter of fact, I was thinking about possibly like just, putting some of that old music out there that we used to do together as well. Just so everybody can kind of get a little feel for the background of, where I came from and stuff like that. But yeah, that band wrote some awesome stuff. Then I moved away
Right.
to Pennsylvania for a few years. And, as far as Pennsylvania goes, it's like, well, let's put it this way: it's like 12 miles to the nearest grocery store.
Yeah, yup.
It's pretty woodsy, so to speak. And it was just tough to find guys. I was looking to put together a band out there as well. I'd find a drummer, and then I couldn't find another guitar player. So it became more of a nuisance to find guys.
Yeah.
And at that time, the technology was making advancements, so I was able to do everything by myself. So I just picked up some recording gear for a new computer, and then over time, I've added more and more to my repertoire.
Nice.
But in the very beginning, I just started recording stuff for myself, and I needed a vocalist, so I figured I'd try it out myself. And, sure enough, Dead Sleep was born, and I put together all that stuff by myself, and, and then as far as the video stuff goes, originally, if you watch some of my older videos, they're really just mere slideshows, and,
Right.
and then I wanted to get a little bit more advanced than that, so I picked up a couple of programs for editing and stuff like that, and I just self-taught myself how to use it, and then
amazing, man.
as Rain Washes Over was born, so.
Cool.
Does it get like?
Now I got new stuff going.
Nice.
Does it ever get like overwhelming? Like, is there any point where you're like, oh, I wish I had more people to help me with this, or?
Not really. I mean, I kind of like, operating by myself because I
Right.
don't have to deal with anybody's nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's a pretty cool thing, but At times, you know, I mean, I guess in the live spectrum for sure. Yeah, I wish I was out there playing some shows and stuff like that. But I'm sure it'll eventually get to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask. If you did perform live, if you had other people just for that.
Well, I haven't put anything out there yet. I mean, I'm looking for guys to put together some sort of live act, and that'll definitely happen in the near future.
Yeah.
But as far as playing live, you know, with that first band, Element, I mean, we toured all over the place. We did West Coast tour, East Coast tour. So I mean, the experience is there for sure. You know, but you know, I just haven't gotten to that point yet.
Yeah, you know, working with a group sometimes is tough because like Rob and I are fine. Like Rob and I could do the show no problem, but like we got this intern Pete, and he asks us some of the weirdest questions to like girls we have on there. Like he's asking them
real creepy.
He gets really weird, man. Sometimes I'm just thinking of like dropping him. I don't know.
The fucking cat just writes me these flashcards and hands them.
You blaming it on the cat?
I think he drops acid a lot of times, and it's a fucking mess, dude. Des, you're on a record label now, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I have this independent contract with Potomac Records.
Okay.
And again, I found them via my Twitter channel.
Nice.
You know, it's just actually what happened was the first radio interview I ever did was offered to me by a guy named Rob Rodriguez. He had I think it was Rock Radio 993 at the time. And just from, you know, interacting socially with everybody on Twitter, he happened to, I guess he took a listen to my music, and he was like, wow, man, that's some pretty cool stuff. You know, would you be interested in doing a radio interview? And I said, yeah, absolutely. So long story short, we ended up befriending, you know, and he became a good friend of mine. And I know that the first time that he interviewed me, he had mentioned something. He's like, oh, I know Potomac Records, you know, I would love to show him your stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, but everybody, you know, in my experience, everybody tells you they know somebody. So I just took it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, you know, a couple months later, he ended up, you know, showing my stuff to Potomac Records. And initially, their business motto is that they only wanted to work with artists in their area, which happens to be the Washington, D.C. area.
Okay.
So the gentleman, Mike Bailey, who's the CEO of the company, was like, basically blew Rob off a few times and said, no, I'm not listening to anybody outside of the spectrum, you know, we're not doing anything. And I guess he annoyed him enough times to where he actually finally decided to take a listen to it. And sure enough, I got an email in my inbox the next day, you know, Potomac Records loves your stuff, we would love to sign you and all this stuff, so... You know, and then, again, I signed with them for a small deal. But, you know, I'm looking to do bigger and better things for sure going forward, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Now, shit, what was I going to say? Oh, do you have CDs out?
I have everything on iTunes. Everything at this point is only digital.
Okay.
You know, but you can find me on Amazon, iTunes, you know, any major digital outlet you can think of, you'll find the Dead Sleep stuff.
Yeah.
Where did you come up with the name Dead Sleep?
You know, because that's a funny question. Everybody always asks me that, and it's just like I was thinking of band names, and I came up with a bunch of different ideas, and I guess the origination of it came from like it's like if you think about like the feeling that somebody would get like being like stunned when they first woke up.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's like if think about being in like a dead sleep and somebody just came and blasted some heavy metal in your ear, and it would just like suddenly awake you.
Nice.
And I thought, you know, it would probably be a little catchy. And you know, it stuck. Originally, I wasn't so sold on the idea of it, but you know, once I started putting it out there, more and more people kind of gravitated towards it, and it just, like I said, it stuck. It's just the same thing with like Element when that band was first around. We didn't have a name, and I said Element, and they were like, it's pretty cool, you know, but then we started using it, and then everybody got used to it, and then it was just like you couldn't think of anything else other than that today, you know.
We've done the same thing when we were throwing around show names, same thing, and it's like, oh, that one's decent, and then you just get used to it, and you're like, yeah, that's a good name.
Right.
The name we
I don't know if you guys have heard any of the earlier stuff that I did, but, you know, originally I was a lot heavier as well.
Oh, okay.
You know, and, you know, I guess as my age matured, then my musical style matured as well. So, but yeah, originally it was like some serious heavy metal stuff, and then again, like I said, I developed my style a little bit more maturely, and here's where I sit with like songs like "Breaking Me" and stuff like that.
How many different instruments do you play?
Well, I do. I'm a drummer. Obviously, if you can play regular guitar, you can play bass guitar.
Yeah.
So I can play both of those. Slight piano. With the way the world is, again, with the technology, everything's recorded in MIDI, and you can, pretty much fabricate some cool piano parts. You know what I mean? But so piano, bass, guitar, drums, and then I'm a vocalist as well. So
cool. Did you do on what was that one song that the first one I heard, "Breaking Me"? Did you scratch on that too? Like,
yeah, I mean, no, it sounds like it, but again, I'm able to, manufacture parts like that and stuff.
Okay.
Everything, if I had to pride myself on one thing, it's in the production studio for sure, because I can make it sound like it's an actual DJ, and it definitely does sound like it's a DJ, but that's just me. Saying bye, and I basically just put a heavy delay on it, and then, I was able to change the timing and the pitch and everything like that.
Wow.
Like, make it sound like a DJ as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought you did, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Now, so do you do any live stuff?
He said no.
No, he said no. Okay,
Not
I didn't
yet.
hear. Not yet.
Not with Dead Sleep.
If you do live stuff with like Dead Sleep, how would you go about that?
Well, I mean, I'd have to figure everything would have to be played to a metronome, first of all.
Right.
Because you have to have those effects, and certain things would have to be, played on tape behind whatever you're doing, So, yeah, I mean, it would be, I guess my vision of it would be, me playing guitar, singing, because I can play and sing at the same time. Then you'd have, I would definitely need a secondary guitar player, bass player, drummer, and then obviously you got to have the all types of keyboards or whatever you have in the background. But it could be, all that stuff can be played through the PA. So
cool, cool.
Do you have like a favorite instrument?
Guitar is probably my main instrument for sure. Yeah. That's the I've been playing since maybe I was like 6 or 7 years old.
Wow. That's fucking
I'm 36 now, so yeah, I've been playing for a pretty long time. I come from a family that has a deep musical background. My sisters are twins; they're singers. They're great singers. My father, he's a drummer and a bass player.
Right.
And he had me going since I'm a baby. You know what I mean? So we all just love music. We have a huge passion for it. Yeah. And that's it, man.
Now, have you always been into like metal music, or?
Always been into rock stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I think when I was younger, I was into like the Guns N' Roses, Skid Row, Poison, things like that.
Yeah.
And then I got into high school, I was into like Pantera.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, like my style of writing music is more, I would say it's more like commercial or more like mainstream type of style.
Right.
But the stuff I listen to is just like brutal. I mean, I love super heavy death metal. I love As I Lay Dying, some of the heavier Kill Switch Engage stuff. So I mean, the stuff I listen to is, I guess you can hear the roots in my writing style, but for the most part, when it comes out after I've written it, it's a little bit more melodic, a little bit more mainstream than what I actually listen to.
Yeah.
I was talking to our intern Pete the other day about like current music and how it is like you don't hear rock anymore. Like we grew up, me and Pete grew up in the '90s. Like we're both 27 years old, and like that type of music you don't hear anywhere. Like the only way you can get anything that sounds like something from the '90s is by like you guys on Twitter. Like that's now the underground. Now everything's just like Iggy Azalea
and that's an unfortunate thing, man. Because I mean, there is a lot of rock fans out there, and but it's just the way of the world. It's the record labels driving all the hip hop and the R&B and all that stuff, and which is fine. It is what it is, but I think ultimately rock will make a comeback, and I think it'll come back really strong as well. So
Yeah, I
I'm
think so
hoping for
too.
it anyway, guys. You know.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Like, we actually we had a guy in studio not too long ago who does like he's got like an old school kind of rock thing. He sounds like Coheed and Cambria, is that the name of the
Coheed and
band? He's got
Right,
like that
right.
sound
Yep.
to him. And he was saying the same thing, how like he thinks that all the guys that grew up in our era, all the millenniums or whatever that were listening to like the 90s music, they all, you know, just didn't get into starting to make music until now. So eventually that's going to catch on, like, because now all those guys are coming out and they're making the music now. So.
Right, right. And I mean, like, you know, even like some of my, you know, people that I look up to as well, like, you know, like a Trent Reznor,
Yeah.
stuff like that is still definitely around. I mean, I'm sure you guys can tell, but like you just mentioned about the DJ stuff and Breaking Me song, I like to incorporate a lot of that techno or hip hop stuff into the heavy metal. So this way you got a little bit of a mix, and it makes it new and current,
Yeah.
as opposed to just somebody playing a million miles an hour and screaming in your face. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I did find that very cool about the song, that it had that in there.
Yeah, no, definitely. It gives it you know, texture. It gives it a different sound. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just straight up again. It's not your straight up heavy metal, just blasting you in the face. You know,
Yep.
but yeah, no, I mean, I love to write stuff like that, and you know, inside of the programs that I use, you know, we have all types of beat machines. I basically, if you can think it, you can achieve it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you. What video editing software do you use?
I use Final Cut Pro. I also use Motion 5.
So you got a Mac.
I have a whole, yeah, I use Mac.
Okay.
Cool.
For everything. But yeah, I mean, I have you know, a ton of plugins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I use a lot of, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but I use a lot of Motion VFX stuff as far as my plugins and stuff like
No,
that.
I don't know any of that. See, I started to Rob about this the other day, where everybody's who's doing projects like this are always recommending like use a Mac. But I grew up
Yeah.
always using Windows, so I don't want to like take the time to learn a new OS. So I just kind of been sticking to Windows. So I use like, you know, I got like Adobe Premiere.
I hear it, and you know, and I know a lot of guys that are definitely Windows oriented as well. I kind of got out of that phase because I was tired of buying a new computer every 2 years. You know, you know, my Mac. Seriously, the Mac that I'm looking at right in front of me right now is the same one that I originally started Dead Sleep with. I've had it for about 6 or 7 years.
Oh wow!
Wow,
That's
yeah,
amazing,
So,
yeah.
and it still runs smooth. You know what I mean?
Yup.
So,
All the buddies I have that have them say the same thing. They last forever.
I try not to download any crazy shit on it. You know what I mean? So,
Do you have like a separate
but yeah,
computer
I mean,
just for porn?
It's just, in my opinion, it's a better product. And you
Yeah.
know, and
Right.
as far as artsy stuff goes, I mean, you can't beat a Mac because
Yeah.
it's got all these crazy programs and capabilities that you just don't have with Windows. Again, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that was another thing I was going to ask you is where are you in? You're in Pennsylvania right now?
No.
no,
okay.
I'm back in Long Island.
Oh, you're back in Long Island. Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah, I've been back here for about 5-6 years now.
Nice.
You like it better in Long Island than Pennsylvania?
Yeah, there's more happening, man.
Yeah.
You know, you get cabin fever real quick living in Pennsylvania. You know?
Is Mastic up there?
Mastic, yeah, that's about probably 25 minutes from my house.
Oh, I heard that's a real slum.
Yeah, Mastic's a shithole.
What's it a real slum? What makes it a slum?
Yeah,
The houses.
Long Island has its beautiful areas, its very ritzy areas, but
Yeah.
it's also got really rundown places.
Yeah.
It's New York, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's the same thing.
It's
Where
one of
you
those
where are
guys
you
from
guys
my
from
dream
right now?
live.
I'm from North Jersey, but now down the shore by like LBI.
Yeah, and I'm from
Oh, okay.
South Jersey. I'm from like here. I grew up on LBI.
You don't know the Cumias, do you?
What was that?
You don't know like Joseph Cumia or Anthony Cumia, do you?
Nah, it's not ringing a bell.
Oh, okay.
I grew up in a town. I don't know if you guys are even familiar with it. I grew up in a town called Center Reach, which is like the middle of Long Island.
Okay.
Exit 62 off the LIE. You know?
Nice.
So, but yeah, I mean it's home. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
it's totally different than Pennsylvania. You know, over here you can literally if you didn't want to drive, you can walk up to the store and get what you need. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
that's the way when I lived up north it was, and down here you can't do that, man. Everything's like half an hour away and shit.
Yeah, and that's Pennsylvania's the same shit, you know. And I
Yeah.
got tired of the
Oh.
snow, and the minute it snows, you can't leave your house because you're in the mountains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny, I got a couple of friends who are bugging me to move to Pennsylvania with them.
Oh.
Like, they moved like a year ago, and they're like, you gotta come down here. And I went down there to visit, and I'm like, man, this place sucks.
Did you
like,
say there's only like a Walmart
nothing.
there? Like...
Yeah, there's like the only thing that's in driving distance to them is like a Walmart, and that alone is like an hour away.
Wow.
Like, it's just, and there's just, and they live in like an old coal mining town. And it's just like, oh, it's not.
Yeah, the only thing
fun.
to do over there is like drink beers and shoot your gun in the backyard or something.
Look at a goat.
Look at, yeah, exactly. They had goats. They like,
Oh, fuck that.
everybody's got goats.
It's a different world for sure. I mean, it's a nice place to visit, but I didn't really enjoy living there too. You know, after a year, the hype was over with. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
You want to wrap this up, man?
Yeah, man.
Dude, it was good. It was great talking to you, man. We had a lot of fun. We're gonna wrap this up now. How far is Long Island? Maybe you can come down one time and join us in studio.
Yeah, man. What part of Jersey you guys in?
By LBI, like Atlantic City area.
Yeah, like Atlantic City.
Okay. Yeah, and listen, 3 hours is not too bad.
I was gonna
you know what I
say
mean?
2.5 probably.
I get down there. You know, I'll definitely get down there. We just got to set it up.
Awesome,
Yeah, that would be
dude.
great, man. So why don't you get out all your plugs? Tell everybody where they can find your music, and then we'll let you go.
All right. Well, first of all, you can find all the Dead Sleep stuff, like I said, digitally on any major outlet that you can think of. Again, the Breaking Me song has just been released as is the 3rd of this month, so it is for sale for everybody that wants to go out there and check it out. If you don't feel like buying it, just listen to it. That's cool with me. You can definitely find me on my website, which this is an extremely long address, but it's actually www.criticalmathmusics.wix.com/Dead Sleep Official. I will absolutely shorten that in the near future. But for now, that's where you can find me. Definitely check out the site. You have a lot of my music on there, links to all of my music. You'll be able to see all my videos as well. If you want to find me on Twitter, I am at Dead Sleep Band, and that's pretty much it, guys. You know, I definitely appreciate you guys having me on, and everybody stay rocking and get ready for some new Dead Sleep stuff.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Good to talk to you. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right, take care, man.
All right, have a good night.
You too, Des.
Bye.
Bye. Fucking awesome.
All right, guys, we'll be back.
What